Indonesians are bracing for more heavy rains after floods and landslides devastated regions in the north and west. More than 880 people have been confirmed dead and hundreds are missing. A chain of tropical storms hit South and Southeast Asia last week. Indonesia's military is stepping up relief efforts in the worst hit areas. DW correspondent Georg Matthes has this report now from North Sumatra.
This used to be Dani Sianipar's home in northern Sumatra. It's now meters below the mud. The mother of four barely escaped with her life when half a mountain collapsed on her house in the middle of the night.
I was just taking care of my baby when I heard a very loud boom. We were terrified. We walked while praying and screaming, all together, the whole family. We ran, and then some local people came and rescued us.
After floods and landslides hit the island of Sumatra more than a week ago, it took 4 days for help to reach her tiny village. All the roads were washed out. This is what hundreds of homes across the island now look like. Clearing away the mud and debris will take months.
Once you step into this slippery mud is when you fully understand how dangerous these landslides are, with literally liquefied soil coming in from all corners. Now, luckily in this building, no one got hurt. People could flee in time, but many here are now concerned about secondary landslides.
The soil in the mountains is still soaked and more rain is forecast to hit Sumatra. Many villages remain cut off, and that is why the Indonesian military says it's now moving at full speed to get food and medical aid to thousands of people in need.
We've already been able to reach 6 villages on foot that are still isolated. Our plan is to walk there again to identify the exact coordinates for helicopter aid deliveries and set up an emergency kitchen there. We hope this will ensure that no one is left without assistance.
Some relief for Dani has arrived. Soldiers not only came with food, but also brought diapers for her baby. For now, her family is staying with neighbors. She says she won't rebuild her house here. But she also says only with financial aid would her family be able to move somewhere safer and start over.
For more on this, I spoke to DW correspondent Cinta Zanidya in northern Sumatra and asked her about the situation with more heavy rain expected in the next 24 hours.
Yeah, it was actually just raining here in North Tapanuli, and the atmosphere here has been tense because even though some roads have been cleared, but the ground itself isn't stable just yet. So a lot of survivors were being told not to come back to their houses because it is very dangerous for them to do so. And aside from that, we've also seen aid coming in as well as rescuers recovering dead bodies in the rain. And with 500 people still missing, this operation is still in full force. And if I can wrap up the whole situation in North Tapanuli right now, is that people are getting anxious because they have a sense that it is not over for them just yet, especially with heavy rains coming in. And for those that have lost their homes, they don't know what's to come, or if they don't know if they can go back to their houses after this.
Cinta, you talk about the anxiety. Some aid is finally arriving where you are. It's been more than a week since the flooding set in. What are people and rescuers there telling you about that aid situation?
We were just at one of the dropping off points for aid in North Sumatra, actually, and what we saw there is that people lining up to get food, and the people there, they actually told us that they don't live near the dropping off points at all. They actually live kilometers away from the dropping off points, and so they had to walk for hours just to get food. And they were telling us that the villages, their villages, are still isolated, and so that's why they had to walk every day just to get food. And aside from that, rescuers, they were telling us that they have been struggling to clear some paths, especially with people still walking around the heavy machinery as well as still blocked roads. But the thing is that that's the only way that people can get food around here. And so yes, they're still struggling to clear some paths for access for more aid.
Right, the people there are in desperate need by the sound of it, but authorities there haven't declared a state of disaster or asked for foreign aid. Why is that?
Yeah, we actually talked to an Indonesian minister 2 days ago, and they said that the situation is still under control and that that aid is still coming through to everyone impacted in Sumatra. But the thing is that what we witnessed hasn't quite matched what the government is saying, because as I said before, people have to walk for kilometers and hours at a time just so that they can get food, especially for those who are still isolated in their villages. And we were told that there are still some villages just in North Sumatra that is still completely isolated from North Sumatra. And so we talked to them at the dropping off point, and they said that they are getting desperate for food and for electricity, because in some areas they still don't have electricity just yet. And so they're hoping that the government would speed up the road clearing operation so that there is more access for food in more isolated areas.
On the ground in North Tapanuli in northern Sumatra, DW's Cinta Zanidya, thanks so much. Now, Sri Lanka is also bracing for more devastation after it was hit by a cyclone last week. Forecasters are warning of fresh rains and landslides. More than 600 are dead and another 200 people are missing. Around 2 million people have been affected by floods and landslides already. Tens of thousands of homes have been damaged. The government has announced a compensation package to help people rebuild.